Hi guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to show you how to connect up Cubase to OBS, so all your audio signals come through your audio mixer here. That's going to allow you to set up a microphone or a guitar or any instrument to your inputs on your audio interface, which is then going to allow you to record like I'm doing now. And more importantly, which is what I wanted to do, was add inserts, effects, plugins. I'm just going to throw this delay on now to show you it can be done, There you go, you can hear the delay there. Take it off. That's going to go through OBS. You can stream, record what I'm doing. Do whatever you want once it's done. Now, to get Cubase to talk to OBS or connect up with it, we need to use this software, which is called Voicemeeter Potato. I'm going to put the link in the description, which will bring you out to this page, VB audio software, and there's the version that we need, Potato. If you have got an old version called Banana on your computer, uninstall it, restart your computer, download Potato. And there's the two links for it here. Free program, there's a zip, there's the exe file here, which is the easiest one to do. Okay, so once you've done that, come back and join the rest of the video. Cheers. Alright guys, welcome back to the video. Hopefully you've installed Voicemeeter Potato okay. If you want, open it, open Cubase. There's your Voicemeeter panel. We'll get to that a little bit later. Okay, so for now, what we're going to do is set up Cubase. Forget about Potato. We're going to set up Cubase. And what we want to do, we want to try and point Cubase towards Voicemeeter. And how we do that is go onto devices at the top. Go into device setup, which will bring you to this page. You want to look for VST audio system. Now, if for some reason it's not highlighted, just click on it, which will bring you here. Now, this is the important bit that we need. Normally, when you're recording into Cubase, if you're using an audio interface, whatever yours is, Focusrite, it could even be the Steinberg. I'm using M-Audio, which is there. Okay, so if that's, for example, selected on mine, click on Voicemeeter Og's Virtual ASIO, whatever you want to call it. Click on that. It'll probably ask you if you want to switch drivers, click yes, then click OK. And that's the buzz on the other screen. So do you want to switch the ASIO driver? Switch. Okay, that's done. Click OK. Okay, and that's pointing towards Voicemeeter, which is a good start. Okay, from there, what we need to do is set up the inputs for our audio interface. And I have mine microphone into 1 and guitar into 2. So to set the inputs on your audio interface, we need to go into devices again. Then we need to go into VST connections. Click that. That'll bring you to your connections page, which has got your inputs, outputs, group effects, and others that you may have, depending on what version of Cubase that you got. What we need to concentrate on is inputs. I've already got mine set up, but what I'll do, I'll take that other one off. Remove bus guitar. So for now, I'm just using a microphone, but if you did want to add a guitar into channel 2 on your interface, add bus, mono or stereo, generally mono, depending on what you're using. Let's give it a name, guitar, add bus. And there we go, there's your two inputs, mic, guitar. Mic into input 1, or port 1, guitar into port 2. On your outputs page, you'll generally see this. Your stereo out is going to be going towards Voicemeeter Og's. Just try and remember that Og's Virtual. I'll explain why later. I'm not too sure why, but it always puts the left channel on 7, on port 7, right on port 2. I'm not too sure why, but it does that. So we're done with that VST connections. Now to record or make sure that you are set up correctly on your audio channels, So there's my voice channel. Now if you go into here on Cubase, this is where you're going to find your input and your output routing. Here I'm going to select a mic, which is there. Now if, for example, that I wanted to add my guitar track, okay, quickly, guitar, mono, blah blah blah, stereo out. And then here, what I need to make sure is, obviously that's my voice. On my guitar, I need to make sure I click the input over to the guitar input. So important that you do set these up, otherwise you're gonna not be hearing things coming through, etc. So voice, I'm setting up to port 1, which is up my mic. Then my guitar, which is set up on the other bus, as you've just seen. So from there, we're all done in setting or pointing Cubase towards Voicemeeter. So once you're happy with that, we'll move on to the next part. Thanks. So first things first, what I'd say get into the habit of, when you open Voicemeeter, check the sampling rate of Cubase and Voicemeeter is exactly the same. Now here, you'll see I'm recording in 44.1 kilohertz. If that's not showing on yours, press Shift and S and it'll bring project setup and it'll show you the sample rate there, 44.1 kilohertz. If for some example your shortcuts have changed or you changed them yourself somehow, go into project setup, and there you go, 44.1 kilohertz sample rate. Okay, so we know that. Open Voicemeeter, and if you look at your virtual inputs here, it will tell you, you'll see that these inputs are at 44.1. Now, if you remember earlier, I did say when we were pointing Cubase towards Voicemeeter Potato, you're going to look for Voicemeeter OGS, and here's the channel right in the middle here. So just to recap on that, when we went to devices at the start, device setup, and we went to the VST audio system, this is where we sent it, Voicemeeter OGS Virtual ASIO. So Cubase is coming in through this channel here. So that's what we want to keep an eye on. That's our main one for now. Okay, so now you understand where that's connected to from Cubase. This middle channel here, the OGS channel. Okay, so sample rates. If for some reason they're separate, or I'm just recording this just for ease of 44.1, if you want to change that, click on your menu button here. Go into System Settings. And here, Preferred Main Sample Rate, 44.1. If you do want to change that, click on it. I'm not going to change mine at the minute, but if you record at 96 for whatever reason, click on that and that'll change over, and then you know you're at the same project sample rate as Cubase. So very important that you make sure that they're the same, otherwise what you're going to find is it'll come through all pitchy or slow or weird, and you might think there's a problem with it, but a lot of it just boils down to basically the sample rate being different from Cubase and on Voicemeeter. Okay, so that's sample rate set up. Okay, now we've done the sample rate. We're going to move on. You don't have to do this in this order, but just for explanation wise, I'm going to move on to this little section here. These are your outs, or your hardware outs, as in what you want to listen to. Obviously Cubase is coming in. I mean, depending on where we want to listen to it, if we want to listen to it back through our audio interface, my M Audio or your Focusrite, which you can monitor off, which is a lot of the time the best way because you get no latency. So if you want to set up what I normally do, I set one up to come back through my interface, and I set one up to come through my desktop speakers. So A1, what we're going to look at, this is where it's going to send the signal back out to monitor 4. So what you want to look for is the ASIO driver, and here it is, mine at the bottom, M-Audio, M-Track 8, ASIO, you can see that ticked. Yours will be Focusrite, Steinberg, whatever one that you do use, Presence, whichever it may be. Just be careful and take time on this, because I've made the mistake in the pack where, because there are multiple displays here with the M-Audio, etc., yours will show the same. If you choose the wrong one of them, it's not going to give you sound. So look for the ASIO version, M-Audio. So that's one hardware out set up. And the second hardware out, I'm setting up to come out with my laptop speakers, which is WDM speakers, Realtek high definition audio. Now don't worry if you find when you use this one that you're getting pops and cracks, it's not that good. You can actually just change it over to MME speakers, Realtek high definition. All it basically is just different drivers. One might work better than the other. Let's use that. So that's your hardware out. You've got another 3 hardware outs to choose from there, should you have anything else set up, speakers, etc. But that's your hardware out. Okay. So here's our inputs here. Obviously you can see I'm talking now, I'm coming through on input 1. Now how we get that to input 1 is, you can see here it's set to A1 ASIO input left. If you have used this program before and you're just going back through it to try and get it working, you might have something else on this one. So click on it, remove device select, and what that will do, that'll just reset it to this A1 ASIO input. Now how we set these up for the inputs of your audio device is, go to your menu, click on menu, go to your system settings, options. This page will open back up again, which is where we set our sample rate before. Now this is the section that you want to look out for, your out, your main device, ASIO M-Audio M-Track 8. Now what we want to do, if you remember when we set up the bus for Cubase, we set up the bus for the mic was on 1 and the second bus was for the guitar, and that was on port 2. There's your 2 inputs, mic, guitar, mic into input 1 or port 1, guitar into port 2 on your output, and this is what we're setting up here. So I'm not going to change this one here, that's my mic, and it's in input 1, which is input 1 here, which relates to input 1 here. Now this second one, I know I've got nothing going through that at the moment, so I can change that. So that one was my guitar, but should you have anything else or connected to different ports, that's how you change it. So that'll be the port 2 for the guitar. Either add maybe another bus set up for something else. You would set that up for your left or your right, and for example it might be set up on bus 3, in which case that then would come through this input 3 here. So just to recap that, my microphone, which was bused into number 1, is coming through here, hardware input. Me supposed guitar, which I had set up, was coming through port 2, my in 2, which is this one here. And if I had another additional one set up on bus 3, for example, that would come through here, and on 4 and 5, you got another 2 inputs there should you need them, and that relates to them. Okay, so from there you should now have your input coming from your audio device, whatever it is, M-Audio, Focusrite, your audio interface, you should now hopefully be picking up a signal coming from there in the relevant track and the relevant port. If not, go back, double check your buses. Don't forget to check your particular monitoring device. Obviously, certain ones are set up in different ways. Make sure you click and monitor. If I unclick this, you heard nothing. So that's always one to check out for, that you haven't basically pressed your monitor button. Now when you're seeing that come through on channel 1 here, you sometimes, because it's recording in mono, you might just be hearing it through one headphone, either your left or your right, like so, probably. Actually no, you probably won't hear that in mono. Let me just take this off. 2. So now you should be hearing it through one side. If you're getting that problem, you can click mono here, and it's this. Let me take away this page. If you remember, August channel is your Cubase channel here, which is where it's coming through. This K, I'm not exactly sure what the K stands for, but click it and you'll see K. I'm presuming M stands for mono, and then hopefully that should be both speakers or headsets, left and right. It just sums it up into one. Okay, so hopefully now you've got your inputs coming through from 1 and 2, or whichever channels you're using, and you're getting some signal out. You can adjust these, lower it down, take it down, bring it back up. If you double click, say for example I'm here, double click, it'll reset it, which obviously you can, you know yourself, you can do on Cubase as well. You can monitor from this one here, lower it down, higher it up, zero it. Now what this happens, if you want to check what dB you're coming in at as well, just like your Cubase mixers, we're going to send this particular channel to one of the masters over here, and it's called B2. And if you look on your virtual hardware master section here, here's B2 on this one, and you'll see the signal going up 19, dropping back down. So that's where that's being sent to, and I'm doing that by alternating that button there. So there you go. That's how you get your input in to this channel here. Now for monitoring Cubase, which is, like I said, voice meter OGS here, you would use these buttons here, A1, A2. So if, for example, I wanted to monitor back through my audio interface, I would send this to A1, like so. Then that relates to this A1 here, which is going through my M audio. I don't want to do that at the moment. I'm just monitoring through my laptop. So that is being sent to A2, which is A2 here. So that's being sent to my laptop speakers here. So that's what we, or how we try and monitor out of voice meter. Okay guys, so we're at the final stage of setting up voice meter Potato. Now this last part, you'll be glad to know, is actually very, very easy, but it's very, very important also that you do it, otherwise you'll hear nothing in OBS. So the scenario could be, you've got your mic going into 1, maybe the guitar going into 2, bass going into 3, you might have a normally annoying drummer going into 4. So that's all coming through your Cubase, which is our center channel here. Now what we need to do, we need to send that, as we know, to B2. So it's all going to one channel. Now what we need to do for OBS is create a dedicated channel, which is going to be this one, VAIO3, for all that to come through. What I'd suggest, you get all your levels for your instruments correct either through Cubase, or I would suggest doing it through Cubase and then just tweaking it using these inputs here, because once it goes through to OBS you will not be able to adjust individual instruments. It just treats it as a master. So that's what I suggest. So finally, once we've got all these 1, 2, 3, 4 going into B2, coming through Cubase, all we have to do then is send it from here to B3. And all you do for that is click this B3 button. I can't do it because you'll lose this audio, but highlight B3. That then sends it to this channel here. I don't know why you get no signal here, but if you look over in the far right hand side, you'll see we are actually getting a signal coming through here. So once you've done that, that's all set up for OBS to receive a signal or the sound coming from Voicemeeter Potato. Right, this next section, what we're going to do, it's not necessary to do this next session, but it's well worth your while to do it. What we're going to try and do, we're going to try and route anything through Windows. So if you're listening to iTunes or watching a film, or if you want to watch YouTube or listen to a few videos, we're going to try and send that audio to this source here. And what we're going to try and do, we're going to try and send it to this channel here, Voicemeeter, VAIO. This channel's already been used, as we know, by Cubase, if you don't remember by now. So we're going to try and send it to this empty channel now. And how we do that is, it's not shown on mine here, but normally in the bottom right hand corner, you've got your little speaker icon. Doesn't necessarily have to be there, but if you've got your small speaker, right click and then look for playback options. Now I'm just going to find it this way. If I put sound, go into settings, then here, that's the little speaker icon that you're looking for, sound. I'm going to bring it back up to this next screen. This is what should pop up. Right, normally as you scroll through these, your speaker settings on your laptop would probably show this one here. Speakers, that's your laptop or your desktop speakers, Realtek high definition also. We don't want them for now. What we want is this one here, Voicemeeter input. Now if you look at that, VB audio Voicemeeter VAIO, once we click that, that is going to link with this one here, Voicemeeter VAIO. So click it, get your little green tick or set it as the default, then click OK. And that should now be linked up. Anything that we play through our desktop or laptop, that can be routed through here. Now to check this, I'm going to put a YouTube page on, which just so happens to be my channel. I'm going to choose this video here. Well, I'm just going to take my headphones off. When you're doing this at home, you should get it through your headphones. On this video, you're not going to hear this come through. So I'm going to take my headphones off and put it close to the mic so you can hear it come through. But like I say, when you do it, you should start hearing anything that you play through your laptop, through your headphones. So you won't hear it in the video, so as I move my headphones close to the microphone, you should hear that coming through. So I know that's coming through now. And what you'll see is, you'll see the signal coming through Voicemeeter here, you'll see it coming back through here, so, and you'll also hear it through yours anyway, through your headset. And that's how we get Windows through this channel here, Voicemeeter VAIO. Right, so let me just knock this off for you. If you do get a chance, guys, check us out. Duffaloes, Glass Me song I wrote a couple of years ago. We'll go to the channel if you want. We've got plenty more videos of other songs on there. Right, let's just pause this. And back into this. So yeah, so there you go. That's how you get Windows into this channel here. Cubase, and then the Windows sounds through here. So what we need to do with OBS is you need to set up a source for it. Now mine's already set up here. I've got the DAW or Cubase, and you can see my levels coming through here. Now to do that, add audio input capture. You'd set up a name for it like I did, DAW Cubase test, just for example. And then on this next part here, device, what we're going to look for is this one here, voice meter VAIO3 output. Right, so let me just take that away 1 second. Actually I can't. So yeah, voice meter VAIO3, and that's the channel that we set before. Okay, I can't set that up because I've already got one set up, so let's just cancel that off. But if you look at my one here, right, let's just get rid of that one. DAW Cubase, if I double click it, you'll see that I've got that set to voice meter VAIO3. Okay, and that's what brings it here to see my levels. So yeah, don't forget that, and that is now linked up to this channel here, VAIO3. And from there you should have everything coming through. So let me just get rid of this for a second. Voice meter. Okay, so now if you want to try and check it, you see your signals coming through. You're getting a signal through Cubase here. Now if you want, try and record. Okay, so that'll record. You're seeing that coming through. Now the big check for me, which is where I had the problem, was I couldn't get my plugins or any inserts on or nothing. So now if I do put the insert on, which this should still be the delay, I'm going to get the delay back through, and you should be able to hear that, the actual capture itself. So let me take that off. And there you go. Hopefully you've got that coming through this channel here. Now at the moment I've got my desktop audio took off, but if you want to put that back on, don't forget that's the channel for if you wanted YouTube, etc. coming through. So in my headphones at the moment, that's coming through. Just lower that down. I should start getting some of that coming through. Okay. If we go into the properties of that, what you'll see is advanced audio properties. Desktop audio. We go into the settings. There's audio. You'll see the desktop audio is just set to default, and then the auxiliary is the VAIO3, and that's it. This should all be connected. Desktop audio, you can have a separate, go into your stream, lower it down, hide it back up again, bring it back up, or the volume of what's coming through, be your music on your audio interface, take that down, bring it back up as needed. So that's it, guys. Hopefully everyone's got everything working okay, exactly how they want it. All your channel inputs are okay, all your effects and plugins are coming through okay. But if you do find that you're still having problems, then feel free to drop me a line in the comments below. I'll try and get back to you with some kind of solution. Alternatively, I'm going to put a checklist at the end of this video, which you can use for future reference and also for now. Just a quick checklist, which takes you through each setup. Maybe you've missed a few pointers, or you've done something wrong there. So we're checking that out at the end of the video, guys. Also, if you do want to see how this sounds when streaming live, then pop over to my Twitch channel. I'm going to leave the description below. And I should be streaming live music a few days of the week, but that's later on in the year, maybe July and August. So hopefully I'll catch you there. Cheers.